I used to think I was just afraid of the dark, like most people. Childhood fears that stick around longer than they should. But after what happened to me 2 years ago, I realized some fears exist for a reason. Some places should feel scary, because they are. I was 19 at the time, still living in Nebraska. Not in one of the bigger cities, but in a smaller town surrounded by empty roads, cornfields, and that eerie silence that creeps in after sunset. My best friend lived out in the countryside. Her family had a big house on a few acres. Nothing too fancy, but far enough from neighbors that you could scream and no one would hear you. We used to spend weekends out there all the time. Bonfires, late-night movies, trying to summon ghosts with Ouija boards like idiots. Typical teenage stuff. Her house was like freedom. No parents watching us every second, no curfews. Just us and the wide-open dark. The only problem? Getting there. To reach her place, you had to drive down a long, winding 2-lane road. No streetlights for miles. On one side, a thick line of trees that formed a wall of black at night. On the other, an old cemetery. No gates. Just crumbling headstones and crooked wooden crosses scattered across the grass. It always creeped me out, especially that one sharp curve near the woods, right past the cemetery. I couldn't explain it, but every time I passed it, whether it was dusk or midnight, I'd get chills. Like someone was watching from the tree line. Like something was waiting. But nothing ever happened. Until one night, it did. It was a Friday in October, one of those chilly nights where the air feels heavier than usual. My friend Rachel had invited me for a sleepover. Just the two of us this time. Her parents were out of town, and she had the house to herself. I remember looking at the clock before I left. 9:17 p.m. I tossed my bag in the back seat, grabbed a hoodie, and started the 25-minute drive to her place. As soon as I turned onto that winding road past the cemetery, I noticed it was darker than usual. Not just night dark, like the moon had vanished entirely. My headlights barely cut through the fog creeping along the edges of the asphalt. Then came the curve. That same curve I always hated. I slowed down almost instinctively, hands tight on the wheel. On the right, the cemetery. On the left, the trees. But tonight, something was different. I saw it, just for a second. A figure, standing at the edge of the woods. Not moving, not walking, just standing, tall, thin, wearing something long and dark. No flashlight, no phone light, just there. I blinked, and it was gone. Or maybe it moved. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe a tree. Maybe a shadow. My mind was playing tricks on me, right? Still, I pressed the gas a little harder, heart racing as I put that stretch of road behind me. I finally reached Rachel's place. The porch light was on, and her smile greeted me at the door like always. She had already made popcorn. We set up the horror movie marathon in her basement, but I couldn't shake the feeling from the drive over. I didn't tell her about what I saw, not yet, but that was mistake number one. We headed downstairs into Rachel's basement, her favorite hangout spot. It was cozy, lit with string lights, and smelled faintly of vanilla and old wood. She had set up everything: pillows, blankets, popcorn, soda, even Halloween candy. It should have felt safe. We started with a classic horror film, something about a haunted hotel, nothing we hadn't seen before. But halfway through, during a quiet part in the movie, we heard it. A thud. From upstairs. We both went silent. Looked at each other. Rachel paused the movie. "Probably the ice machine," she said quickly, trying to brush it off. Except, she didn't have an ice machine, and we both knew it. Still, neither of us moved. I laughed nervously and threw a piece of popcorn at her. She caught it and grinned. We moved on to the next movie, but the noise came again. This time, a dragging sound from the upstairs hallway. Rachel muted the TV. We both stared at the ceiling. There it was again. Slow, deliberate movement. Like something or someone was walking and dragging something heavy behind them. Rachel whispered, "Did my parents come home early?" I shook my head. Her parents were hours away at a conference. No one was supposed to be here but us. Suddenly the lights flickered. Just once. Then again. Then pop, one of the bulbs in the string lights burst. Darkness swallowed half the basement. Rachel gasped. I stood up, heart hammering. Then we heard footsteps. Not upstairs, not from the hallway, but coming down the basement stairs. Heavy. Slow. Rachel froze. My blood ran cold. I turned toward the stairs, expecting to see a shadow, a shape. Something. But the stairs were empty. Completely empty. Except the basement door at the top of the stairs was wide open. And we had locked it when we came down. We didn't speak for a few seconds, just stared at that open basement door. Then Rachel whispered, "I'm going up." I grabbed her arm. "Are you crazy? What if someone's up there?" She pulled free, trying to be brave, but I could see her hand shaking. She took a flashlight from the shelf and slowly walked to the stairs. I followed. We climbed each step in silence. The moment we stepped into the hallway, we both froze. The air felt wrong, heavier, colder, and every single picture frame on the walls had been turned backwards. Faces hidden, glass inward. Rachel's mouth dropped open. "What the hell?" I turned to the living room. The TV was on, static, volume up, but not loud enough to notice from the basement. We walked toward it, trying to make sense of things. Rachel leaned down to turn it off when suddenly the static cut. A face, grainy, black and white, staring into the camera. Not from any channel, no logo, no movement, just staring. Then it smiled. The screen went black. Rachel screamed. She backed away, tripping over the coffee table. I helped her up and reached for my phone. No signal. None. Not even Wi-Fi. Just then, all the doors in the house slammed shut at once. Bang, bang, bang. And the lights went out. Pitch black. We heard something moving in the hallway. Not footsteps now. Something crawling, dragging, breathing. Then Rachel whispered, "This has happened before." I turned to her. "What?" Her eyes were wide, pale. "When I was 6, in this house. I thought it was a dream. My parents said it was sleep paralysis, but I saw it." "Saw what?" I asked, voice trembling. She turned slowly toward the hallway and said, "The man with no face." I turned to Rachel. "The man with no face? What do you mean?" But before she could answer, the lights flickered back on. Everything looked normal. No slammed doors, no crawling sound, no static on the TV. Just a quiet, still house. Rachel looked around, dazed. "Wait, weren't we just—" My phone buzzed. One new message. It was from Rachel, but she was standing right in front of me. I opened it. A photo of me, sleeping, taken from above. Timestamp, 1 hour ago. I felt sick. Rachel checked her phone too. Same message, different photo. Her, sleeping, same timestamp. We both backed toward the front door, but the lock wouldn't turn. It was stuck, jammed like it was welded shut from the inside. That's when the hallway light began flickering again, and the crawling sound came back, but this time, closer. Rachel shouted, "Run!" We bolted upstairs, slammed the bedroom door shut, and just like that, we woke up, on the couch, like none of it had happened. TV off, basement door closed, phones on the table, no messages, no photos, no memory of how we fell asleep. We looked at each other. "What the hell is happening?" I whispered. Then, Something shifted. The basement door creaked open. Again. We were stuck. Every time we tried to leave, every time we fell asleep, it reset. We'd wake up again, on the couch. Same time, same creak, same message. Like the house was looping us, trapping us, feeding off our fear. And every time, that thing got a little closer. Rachel tried to leave notes, recordings, but in each reset they vanished. Until one day she was gone. Not like she left, just not there anymore. No Rachel, no messages, just me, alone. And I swear, I heard her voice whisper from the walls. He took me back to where it started, downstairs. Don't follow me. I didn't listen. I should have. I had no choice. I went down. Basement was darker than I remembered. Like the shadows were alive, folding in on themselves. But something was different this time. There was a mirror standing in the middle of the room. Old, cracked, but not dusty. Like it was used often. I stepped toward it, no reflection, just black. Then, Rachel appeared, in the mirror, but not like herself. Her eyes were gone, replaced by deep, shifting voids. She smiled, too wide, and said, "You made it back. Just like last time." Last time? Suddenly, memories I didn't know I had came rushing in. This house wasn't just haunted. It was mine. I used to live here. Rachel was never real. She was the bait, the loop, a face the house wore to lure me back. I had died in this house years ago, and ever since, I'd been stuck in its loop, over and over, every Rachel, every scream, every reset, all to keep me from remembering what I did. I looked down at my hands. They were covered in blood, not fresh, old, dried, rotting. The mirror cracked, and the voice came again, not Rachel's this time, but mine. "You can't leave until you confess." And then I remembered. The real Rachel. My sister. Gone because of me. The cellar. The fall. The accident I buried, literally and mentally. But the house, remembered. It is me. A prison I built from guilt. Every time I deny it, reset. Every time I try to forget, reset. I screamed. Everything shattered. And I woke up, on the couch. TV static, buzzing, Rachel in the kitchen, smiling. Like nothing happened. But this time, she turned to me and said, "Are you ready to face it? Or do we start again?" If you're still breathing, congratulations. You've escaped, for now. Follow for more true stories that will haunt you even after the screen goes black. Drop me in the comments if you think it's not over yet.